For years, we've all been told that Tesla's competition is Ford, GM, all the usual suspects in the car world. But what if that's completely the wrong way to look at it? What if the real fight isn't for the highway at all, but a massive, high-stakes war for the future of AI against the biggest companies on the entire planet?
This one idea right here, it just completely flips the script. Forget all those old comparisons. They're basically useless now. We are in a totally new era. And the real rivals, the true competition, are the titans of tech: Google, Microsoft, and maybe the most dangerous one of all, Amazon. So here is how we're going to break this all down. First, we're going to decode this grand strategy called system change. Then, we'll get a sense of the insane financial firepower the tech giants are bringing to this fight. After that, we'll dig into a coming power crisis for AI that almost no one is ready for. And finally, we'll map out the future battlegrounds where this whole war is going to be won or lost.
All right, let's dive into the core strategy. To really get what's happening, you have to stop thinking about these as just separate companies. You got to see them as pieces of a single sprawling vision, an interconnected web that's really designed for one single purpose.
And that purpose is something called system change. This isn't just about selling a new car or a new battery. No, this is about engineering a fundamental shift in our entire economy. It's about completely reinventing how our world is powered, built, and runs by just totally collapsing the cost of the most basic things we need. And when you look at it this way, everything just clicks into place, right? Optimus isn't just a cool robot. It's the shift from human to robotic labor. Tesla Energy is the move from fossil fuels to clean, renewable energy. The Boring Company, that's the leap from flat 2D transport to a 3D network underground. And Neuralink, that's about going beyond our own biological limits. You see, each one is a critical piece of a much, much bigger puzzle.
And here's the core rule they operate by. If a critical piece of that puzzle is missing, they don't wait for someone else to make it. If the world isn't refining enough lithium, fine, we'll build a refinery. If there aren't enough power turbines to meet the coming energy demand, the thinking is, well, we'll just have to build those ourselves too. It's this super aggressive, relentless drive to solve any bottleneck that gets in the way.
Okay, so that's the game plan. But a strategy is only as good as its ability to go up against the competition. And the competition, well, they're bringing an absolutely incredible amount of cash to this AI war. This table really puts the scale of this into, well, brutal perspective. Just look at capital expenditures. That's the money they're pouring back into the business. Tesla's spending a very solid $8.5 billion. But then you look at the titans. Microsoft is at $83 billion. Google, $91 billion. And then you have Amazon reinvesting a just staggering $132 billion. It's not even the same league. It's a completely different sport.
And this chart just hammers that point home. I mean, look how aggressive Amazon is. They are taking pretty much every single dollar they make and plowing it right back into building bigger, better infrastructure. They are just outspending everyone in this critical race to reinvest.
Years ago, Warren Buffett described the perfect business as a machine that could just soak up endless amounts of money and reinvest it for a huge return. Well, that's the Amazon playbook, and they've perfected it over decades. They don't care about quarterly profits. They care about relentless, nonstop growth. And that makes them an unbelievably tough long-term competitor.
And here's the really crucial point. Their threat isn't just about money. Amazon is a master of the physical world. They have world-class expertise in manufacturing. They run some of the most automated factories on the planet. And their cloud service, AWS, is literally the backbone of the internet. In this whole race, Amazon is the real dark horse. But there's a problem, a huge one. All this spending, all these computer chips, all this amazing AI software, it all depends on one single thing. And it's a bottleneck that could bring the entire AI revolution to a screeching halt. This question right here is becoming the central strategic problem of our time. I mean, what good is a trillion-dollar AI data center if you can't plug it in? And there it is. That's the warning shot. The thinking is that the big tech companies are so focused on the digital side of things, on buying GPUs and writing code, that they're totally ignoring a massive energy crisis that's coming. They're building the world's most powerful engines without making sure they have enough fuel. So this is a fundamental shift in the whole game. For decades, the limit on AI was just about processing power and smarter code. Now, the real bottleneck is painfully physical. It's the turbines, the transformers, the actual grid infrastructure you need to generate and move just insane amounts of electricity. The war for AI is quickly becoming a war for raw power. To give you a sense of the kind of scale we're talking about with energy, just consider this number for a second. 200 gigawatts. This is, and I'm not kidding here, an absolutely mind-bending fact. In the single moment of liftoff, the engines on a Starship rocket generate a burst of power that is equivalent to 20% of the entire U.S. electrical grid. Let that sink in for a second. This shows a level of mastery over deploying massive amounts of energy that's almost hard to comprehend, a skill that might just be the most valuable one to have in the coming decades. Which brings us to the final act. This is where the digital world of AI finally smashes into the physical world of atoms, energy, and logistics. These are the battlegrounds of the future. And when you actually lay it all out, you start to see these two massive parallel ecosystems taking shape with almost identical goals. On one side, you've got the Musk ecosystem, humanoid robots, global satellite internet, and giant heavy lift rockets. And on the other side, you've got Amazon, world-class factory automation, their own satellite internet project, and their own rocket company, Blue Origin. But here's where huge vulnerability pops up. See, Amazon needs to launch its satellites to compete with Starlink. And yeah, they have their own rocket company to do it, but that rocket isn't ready yet. So to get their satellites in orbit, they had to sign a multi-billion-dollar contract with their direct competitor, SpaceX. It's a powerful, if temporary, checkmate on the big chessboard. What we're watching right now is one of history's really rare takeoff moments. This is that critical point in a tech race where one leader can use their advantage to accelerate so fast and build such an insane lead that the competition just gets left in the dust, permanently. The stakes, right now, could not be any higher. And so, that leaves us with this one final huge question. As artificial intelligence finally breaks out of our screens and into the physical world of robots and factories, who actually holds the ultimate advantage? Is it the software giants who have owned the last 30 years? Or is it the emerging masters of hardware, of energy, and of atoms? The answer to that is going to define the next century.